I am good. Welcome to the show.
I'm happy to be here.
Yes, I'm excited to have you. I'm excited about our chat. But first, we want to say a shout out to our loyal viewers and subscribers who tune in week after week. We appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you sending your responses, engaging. Absolutely, truly love that. Thank you so much. Those who are on YouTube, it's Positive Vibe Studio, and for Facebook, it is Positively Suzanne. Also have to shout out our executive producer, Paul Anderson, who's also our sponsor, Paul Anderson Photography, for making the magic happen week after week. I am so grateful, and I am actually really, really excited to be outside because we've been trapped inside.
Oh my Lord.
Well, it's so good to see you because I know that you were like inside, like in the snow.
Yeah.
It's so good to see you
Me
out
too.
here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we live in New England. This is not what we were going to talk about, right? Because
Right.
we've had this on the books for almost a month. But of course, the weather did what it did. And then this weekend, what did we see? 19 to 21 inches?
It's
We saw
ridiculous.
quite a bit of snow. So, what was that like for you?
Yeah. I was home. I was home. I just allowed the snow to just come down, and then the next day, I
Yeah.
had to call somebody to come and clean it because it's no.
You're like, I'm not cleaning this.
I'm not. No. It was too much. No.
It was a
Everything's
lot.
buried. Like no.
Yeah, it's
No.
a lot. It's a lot. I was like driving today and like the snowbanks on the side of the street, they're so high. There's no what is it called? I must say the hallway.
Yeah.
Not driveway.
The aisle.
Like
Yeah.
like sidewalk.
Yeah.
There's nothing for people to
To
walk on.
walk on.
They're
Yeah.
walking in the street. It was like,
And it's dangerous on certain streets. Like everything is coming down on the main road.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I'm just so grateful. I mean, I haven't heard of anything, but I'm just like praying and grateful. Like, listen, nobody got hurt.
Yeah.
We were able to do the things, but we're supposed to get some more on Saturday.
Oh,
And so
I'm gonna be thinking of an island or somewhere tropical. That's where my mind goes.
that's
Yeah.
it. Listen, that's it. I know, because you know how Google does the thing, and then Google like said, like, remember this day, and it was just me. We were in oh my goodness, and I was like, yes, please, like mentally, this is where I am. I'm
Yeah.
on the beach
Yeah.
somewhere, like
All yeah. All winter.
oh,
That's
winter.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna do. We're used to it.
Yeah.
Better than tornadoes. That's what I tell myself every single time.
Better than that. Yeah.
Better than tornadoes. But listen, as I said, I'm really excited that you came to the show. I think I've known you for quite a while, and I've had you on a show, a different show that I do for Black in Business on Unity Radio. I've had
Right.
you in one. You were promoting something, but today we get to talk about Miss Jermoh Kamara.
Yeah.
Yes. So. Before you do that, I think a lot of folks know you from Worcester politics.
Hmm.
And I really want to talk to you about that because I think, especially what's happening right now
Hmm.
in the country on a whole and the community on a whole, what drove you to go into politics?
Man, and that fantastic question. Because like what drives me to go into politics or drove me to go into politics is the need, right? The need, the
Mm,
fact that we don't see too many of our own kind
mm-hmm,
in such a position. And I grew up in Worcester. A lot of my life, I came from Liberia, grew up in Worcester,
mm-hmm,
and I wanted to do something like that to
mm-hmm,
help our community in a deeper way. And for me, I just didn't see someone like that looked like me when I was growing up in high school and having all these dreams and aspirations. I didn't see that.
mm,
And so years later, I went through the public school systems, experienced a lot of different things. And
mm,
when you are so new in America, for me at least, I didn't understand the nuances, what like the racism or the isms, the aggressions, and
mm-hmm,
all those things. Those things were not, things that as I went through my public school experience
mm-hmm,
here locally, until I graduated with a public health degree
mm-hmm,
in college, actually my master's, reading some books, and I realized that some of the experiences that I had
mm,
where could be aligned with microaggression isms,
mm-hmm,
and and how Black and brown kids are raised here,
mm,
the quality of the education, those
mm,
experiences. So those various experiences were what led me to run for school committee,
mm-hmm,
because I wanted to represent all students. I
mm-hmm,
was one of those students that excelled in school,
mm-hmm,
but I realized, thinking back then, that there were kids who were very talented
mm-hmm,
across the racial spectrum
mm-hmm,
that really didn't get the support
mm-hmm,
that they desired and deserved at the
mm-hmm,
time. And those memories just couldn't escape me. And even for myself, I always tell the story when I first ran for school committee that I was in a program called the Goddess Scholars Program, and this kind of a program for quote unquote, smart kids. And when I was in 7th grade, the math teacher came to me and she kicked me out of the program. I remember so vividly. It was an alarm went off and we're making our way to exit the building, and she came to me and she said, Jermoh, I don't think that you're doing fairly well in this program. Mind you, I was like making average C. And she said to me that unfortunately we had to get you out of the program. And just imagine 7th grade, still very new in the US. And what am I going to tell my parents who were really excited for me? What
Girl, African parents don't play.
They don't play,
yes.
right? And thankfully, they understood it. But like for me, that was a turning point. And I told myself spiritually, like I'm going to do well. This program is what it is, but I'm gonna continue to do well. And that's what I did. And then when I realized a couple months down the line that there were students that were actually did worse, was not doing academically well as I was, but they were still in the program. And it made me to think that that was not a fit for me. And I graduated, of course, went to South High, did really well there, graduated top of my class, got a full scholarship to Providence College, and I did well. But those experiences really stayed with me because had it been like another child, right, imagine their life's trajectory. They probably wouldn't be in this spot. They probably would have been abandoned, felt abandoned then, maybe drug-related causes or instances that may had, taken them on a very different path. And so I wanted to be in a space where I could make a difference. And when I got on the school committee, those are the things that I was thinking about. Those are the kids that we're fighting for. Those were even the teachers, some of the awesome teachers, and to change a system, to change a way of thinking in our school system that every child belongs. They fit in somewhere. We're glad of the A-list students, but also we need to think about kids who have other struggles, right? They're coming to school with other struggles, and how can we actually support them? And so every time when I ran for school committee, or like when I sat in that chambers, City Hall, I was representing those kids, and paving the future for many other kids to see me and say, well, this is a Black girl, this is someone who went through our public school system. If she can aspire to do that, so can I.
Absolutely. And that is so important. I think that's what sometimes people don't understand. Like representation matter. Walking into a room and seeing somebody that look like you in a space of authority, in a leadership role or whatever the role is, it motivates you because you're like, oh my goodness, like she did it, like I could certainly do it. Because traditionally we're not in those spaces, or there's, one. Right? So to go into those spaces and see a person that looks like you, and then eventually more people that look like you, it motivates you, and more people come into that room that look like you. And I think diversity is so important in moving our country forward.
Exactly.
I mean, I know it's a big no now, but I mean, I think diversity is so important because I think everyone's lived experience is so different.
Exactly. And people can say, well, it's the field is even for everybody.
It is not.
It is really not. And until you sit in the spaces where people are making decisions, I sat in those spaces and with my counterparts who are not my skin color, and even listening to their ideologies. Some of them probably have kids that went to the public schools or did not go to public schools, so they don't even have that lived experience, but they have the privilege, right? And so they would never understand what it actually means to grow up differently, grow up with a single mom, a single father, or struggling, and those ideologies that people hold where they don't have that lived experience. I think it lacks somewhat in the decisions that they make, the policies that they make, and I think we need to be in these spaces because the policies, we need to undo some of the policies that don't reflect, the fact that kids are coming to school at a certain time. Why, right? You have to be in those spaces, in the seat, to, no matter how hard it is, how difficult it is, because other people, other children, other families, people are thinking, people are wanting something, and if you can provide that by being in that space, I think it makes all the difference.
No, absolutely. And I think, it's not that those who do not look like you can't understand, but they truly cannot understand to the degree that another person who looks like you do. And you are correct. It is important that we're in those spaces, that we are part of the decision-making process, because imagine somebody making a decision that impacts you, right? You think about folks that are in the room making a decision about something as, as our hair, right? Now we have a whole Crown Act as to say it's okay to wear our natural hair and protective styles. But can you imagine somebody in that room who doesn't know anything about braids be like, no, braids are not professional. No.
Exactly.
And that's how it happened. That's how it happened.
Yeah.
Like, so if somebody looked like you and me in that room was like.
Exactly.
So I think it's important. I'm glad that you did that. And I think, sometimes when you're in that space, I think, even folks that look like you will say, like, why even bother?
Right.
Like, why even bother? They're not going to let you in there anyway. Like, why put yourself through that extra? But I mean, you really talked about it. But what was it that it was like, you know what? I don't care. I'm still going to be in that space, even though I could certainly take the easier road. You have a master's degree in public health. You could do many different things.
Leave Worcester.
You absolutely can. But you want to be in the space that you were raised, where you grew up, and make a difference for the hundreds and thousands of little, Black boys and girls that look like you, who unfortunately are getting overlooked.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. I know we most recently had, an election. And so any plans for the future, or we're thinking about it right now? You're in the thinking phase.
Man, when you ask that, or when people ask me that question, I think about all the door, all I can imagine myself on those streets, those long streets, door knocking. And I'm like, geez, can I do that again? And and folks tell me, well, you're young, right? You're young, but and I would like to say, I want to also play on the age thing, right? The age is like, how many Black and brown kids or youth do you actually see young in the 20s serving in office, or even the 30s? Like, so the age too also adds to that.
Yeah.
Even own businesses. These are things that we need to encourage people towards, right? And so to that question, I'm seriously thinking about it, because I think it would be a missed opportunity to not continue something that I've already started. And for also the thousands of people that voted for me, who really believe in my leadership and believe in a better Worcester. I think that's what it is, a better Worcester for everybody. Because right now our local governance, I think we need to do without quite a few people in those local offices. We need change. We need
newness. We need
newness.
We need diversity of opinions. We do need folks that the systems weren't built for.
Right.
To be in those spaces, like you said, in the decision-making spaces. But truly, whatever your decision is, and I think that we have to continue to have the conversation, right? And I think a lot of times people like, I don't want to talk about politics, but I think now, like, we have no choice. We have to talk about politics. It impacts every area of our life, even the eggs that we're crying about.
Right.
That's expensive at the grocery store, right? It starts at the city, state, and the national level. And we have to continually, no matter what we're doing, talk about it, because we traditionally in Worcester have low voter turnout for Black and brown, because again, they're just like, they're done.
Yeah. They'll tell you point blank, like, my vote don't matter. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
It does.
Every vote matters.
It does. It does. It does. I know what's happening on a national scale right now, and 3 times I did not vote for certain things, but it happened. But I think that it's important to keep showing up and to keep voting, because I'm not going to give up hope.
No. Yeah, we can't. Because then if we do, then we have a replica again.
What's left? Like, what's left? Listen.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I can't afford to go live in Italy right now. So. So. No, but thank you for your willingness to speak, because I do think that, a lot of times, we shy away from these conversations. And I mean, I've certainly probably said it in the past, like, I don't really talk about politics, but I think what I will say is I don't talk about politics with certain people, right? Because if you're talking to me about politics in only to like talk about your whoever, MAGA, Let's
Yeah.
go there. And just, you cannot see the utter cruelty and inhumane treatment of human beings. And you're just there to, like, then what is the point?
Exactly.
You can't change the mind of a fool. So
You are correct.
I'm just gonna,
Yeah, you have to know like who to argue with and who
like,
to
yeah,
source with and who not to, and
yeah,
just walk away because they're those MAGA people like no, like
yeah,
and man, the human we are really moving far away from human consciousness,
we are.
empathy,
We are.
just a baseline empathy, and what are we actually teaching our kids that are coming up, other people that are coming up? It's like you can't have empathy. Someone is gunned down without even having
Yeah.
a gun to like they're defending somebody else and they
Mm.
can't they're gunned down multiple times, and some people are on the internet, they were celebrating that. How can you possibly?
I think when we get to the point where human life it no longer has value,
Yeah.
and I think for a very long time, black and brown life didn't have value, right? We were three-fifths of a human being, and all that. And even now, like, police brutality has been happening for a long time in our community, and a lot of folks have passed away or murdered, I should say.
Yeah.
But when we see folks that don't look like us getting murdered, and folks are still debating whether they deserve, I think we've come to a critical point where we have to all say, listen, this is not okay. And we have to go back to just basic human decency,
Exactly.
regardless of party, to say, it is just not okay to take another human being's life. So
Exactly.
just, I pray that we will find empathy and we will find the courage to speak up and say, listen, it's just not okay to celebrate the death of someone. And if that's who you are, I'm genuinely okay not being your friend.
Exactly. Exactly. You can unfollow me, you can do whatever it is without even losing sleep. Like just
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, but there is, I truly believe, I do have hope that things will get better and will continue. So, I mean, whatever your decision is, I hope that you continue to show up and speak up and, encourage little black girls to, and little black boys, and honestly, girls on a whole, to say, like, show up, go into the spaces whether you want it or not, and advocate for yourself and advocate for those who sometimes can't speak for themselves.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for that. So we're going to move on, because I know that you're also a realtor, and it is. I know. I mean, is being a realtor like politics? Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So how long ago did you did you become a realtor? How long have you been a realtor?
So just last year. So this is like a 2-year journey. So in 2025, is it 25? We're in 26 now.
Yes.
Yeah. So 24 actually, I started that journey.
Did you?
And I didn't like it was like finishing a part of it, and I finally took the test last year.
All right.
But I wanted to thank you, and I wanted to wait until like the whole campaign season was over before I can say it or do anything about that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, all right. So where are you now? I mean, I know it's on the screen, but let's tell people a little bit about what you do, where you are, and what's your niche.
Yeah. So right now I'm everything. So if you want a single family home, multifamily, even investment property, while I'm new to real estate, I've always been in the know of real estate. Just reading and keeping up with what's going on with the interest rates, what's going on, the different things. I also like home renovations. Actually, a couple of years back, I bought my own property, and that's kind of how I understood, like, this is a really interesting space. Like, you can buy a property, and I enjoyed renovating my own home. And I would love to do that. I think we need to use real estate as a way of building generational wealth. And as a realtor, I will say one of the things that has been really an eye opener for me, and I know like we all know it, right? They say, oh, well, the rents are increasing, until you have to actually help people find apartments, and until you have to actually research what rents are going for now in Worcester. Oh my goodness, it's just too much. It's that's a whole nother discussion. But as a city, we really need to look at what policies or what we can do to manage the rents here in the city of Worcester and in the state of Massachusetts. But hey, I tell people, like, if you can afford 2K, 3K in a rent, you can do the same thing and own your own property and utilize that as a way to build your own generational wealth. And as you're paying the mortgage monthly, you're investing in equity that is coming back to you. Unlike the rent where you're really supporting the landlord and helping him or he or she, like whoever they are, do their own kind of investment there. So and I also tell folks that I work with, whether or not you're thinking about it, you're at the point where it's like, yes, I want to do this, or you just you're casually on the fence of just thinking about it. It's good to be informed. It's really great to be informed, and I think even when I started my own process, like I was somewhat informed, and then I was like, I had some kind of kind of draw back to it because maybe I didn't know too much of the information, because people think that you need to have X amount of dollars before you can buy property, but you need to have the right amount. So if you're able to talk to a realtor who's able to tell you like the steps, tell you what kind of programs that are out there, local programs like first-time homeowner buyers programs that are out there that you can make use of, those can help you to kind of cut down the closing cost. For the property. But at this point in time, it's so critical for folks to think about investing in something, even if it's a condo or a townhouse, something, one family, two family, whatever it is. Just do something for yourself as a way of, and that's in this 2026, the interest rates are going down too. Yeah. We don't know how long it's going to be, at that level for. We've been waiting for like almost 3 years now for it to go down. And so I hope folks have been saving some of their coins, and maybe this year, rather than going to McDonald's and buying the coffee and all of that, if you can save those coins a little bit, everything adds up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. One of the things you mentioned, and I should mention, you were with XSell Century Realty.
Yeah, Century 21 XSell Realty.
Century 21 XSell Realty. And one of the things you mentioned was first-time home buyers program.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of realtors do like workshops and things like that. Do you have any upcoming workshops planned, or does your company do those?
Yeah. So I actually have one that is going on, that is happening right now. So it's like a 3-day workshop. But my goal is to offer those like monthly. So I'll do my best to put it on social media and share it. I'm still working on my website, so my social media right now is like the best way. So my first and last name, Jermoh Kamara. You can find me with all those information there. And I do have newsletters, so if you're interested in, I have so much different types of like contracts, from organizational work, like political work. It's kind of like. So if you want to be on those for my real estate newsletter, let me know. I would love to add folks there, or you just want to add yourself, let me contact me also. I think I'm very reachable on the social media platforms, but yeah.
I never worry about folks who say you're doing too much, because you know what? I'm doing what I can do for me. So folks will be like, oh my God, you're doing too much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, for you.
But
I'm okay, because I think I know when I'm doing too much, and I know it to stop.
Yeah.
And I also think it's a certain level, right? Because if you look at let's look at Kevin Hart, right? Yeah. Extremely successful, in folks' eyes, right?
Yeah.
He acts, he does stand-up comedy. He does a podcast. I think he used to, I don't know. He does he has another show. He does he does so many things under his umbrella, right?
Yeah.
And people's like, oh, he's the hardest working man and all of that. And they admire and they respect his hustle and his grind. But someone like us that they don't deem it not successful to that level,
right?
Then they're like, oh, you're doing too much.
Yep.
Okay.
It's so interesting.
It is very interesting. I've had those conversations sometimes, but then I was like, it's not even worth it. But it's okay.
You're doing too little. That's fine for you to do too little. But utilize the time. I like to utilize the time that I have on this earth, because you don't know when you're going to be here, how long for. You just don't know. So if I'm interested in something and it piques my interest and I want to move forward with it, I move forward with it.
No, absolutely.
If you don't, if you decide that you don't want to move forward with it anymore, okay, that's fine. But I think you're so right on. I think a lot of people have opinions, and I hope that, everyone listening, if you have a, goal and dream or whatever it is this year, and you have people in your ear, like little mosquitoes telling you, oh, doing this, you're doing that. Like, get out, because you never know what your true blessing. You never know where you're gonna find that passion, right? Like for me, like going to politics, I did not know I had it in me to door knock thousands of doors in the city,
Yeah, girl.
or to talk to people until I actually was doing it.
Yeah.
And then people told me like, oh my God, you are passionate about this. I didn't even know that what that was, like what the passion was, right? I didn't even know, but I was just being myself. And you would never know, what you're passionate, the multiple things you're passionate about. You never know until you actually do it and go into it. Try it. And if you decide it's not for me,
move on.
Move on.
Move on.
Yeah.
Like there's still so many facets of our personality and who we're meant to be that we don't know yet.
Exactly.
And I think like every year, every month, every day, we discover like this different things. And like, you're right. It's like, okay. And I was like, well, tried it. It's not me, but it's okay. And then, just move on to something else. But I'm like, try the things you're passionate about. You only live once. I think you have to create your own definition of success.
Exactly.
And just do the things that bring you joy. Do the things that you're not good at. Like, just do the things. And
exactly.
Do the things.
Exactly. Oh yeah. I love to push myself in multiple different ways. That's my personality. Otherwise, it's boring for me.
Okay. I mean, you gotta do what works for you, right?
Otherwise, it's like I'm in my fingers like, oh, what is that? Even the last couple of days being at home, some people be like, oh my Lord, I get to relax. No, for me, I'm doing something. I'm doing something. I'm typing some emails. I'm preparing for something. It's just like, that's how it is. That's how I am.
And that's okay. I'm equal opportunity. Like, I will be going like a crazy. And then like, oh my goodness, like I can spend a whole day just reading because I read a lot. And but again, I mean, you just have to manage your time and do what you do. And like I said, do the things that bring you joy. So Jermoh Kamara, Realtor Extraordinaire. And so check her out. Check out her website. You can go on her newsletter if you are interested in buying a house, or if you just really want to talk about it. So one of the things I think is so important, like, during those first time home buyer classes, it's not like buy a house, buy a house. It is truly teaching you valuable lessons that you need to learn about understanding, your credit, understanding what it takes to buy a home, and all of these things. So it's like you don't have to say, well, I'm not buying a house in 30 days or even this year. This is supposed to prepare you, because there's things sometimes that you're doing that you don't realize that you could change something simple that could make a big impact in a year. So check them out. That's my plug.
Exactly. So holistically. And then is that also that other notion where people don't even like the whole buying process will help you to your finances, right?
Absolutely.
Some people don't even look at their monthly expenses.
Yeah.
Those are behaviors, I think, like, it's so worthy, right? Those little steps you talk about, like
100%.
Look at it every month. Like make sure that those charges are actual charges that you made. Even the credit score, like pulling your own credit report, and going over it yourself and figuring out those little skill sets, really go a long way. Like even if you decide, well, you don't want to buy a home, but at least you will know where your money is going to, how you're spending it. It might also change how you're spending. Put it towards other, important essential buckets. But again, like as we look toward like now, this year, and the rest of the years to come, especially in this economy with this administration, I believe that we need to be on point with our finances, and just finding ways to grow and increase our income in some different types of ways. But just to do that, because people are losing jobs. Like I was in Maryland for an event, and oh my God, like I met a couple of people who've been working in government for like years, like 20 to 40, a long time, and they lost jobs, and they never thought that would be their story. And now they're in the marketplace again, and it's scary. It's scary. So
No, absolutely. I found myself at the end of a layoff for a company, and
Yeah.
through no fault of my own or any of the other managers that worked with me, the company lost contract, and with certain businesses, and things fell through, and like I had a job, and then I didn't have a
Yeah.
job, and it
Yeah.
was just like it wasn't convenient because right, it's not like they're like, well, you're gonna get laid off in a few months, so get all your ducks in a row.
Bro,
No,
no.
it was, I was traveling. I was a district manager at the time. I was traveling. I went to, and actually went way out. I think it was Kingston, to interview a store manager. And then they told me like the CEO was in town, and I was like, oh, okay. And there's like, he wants to meet with you, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And I was like, it's late. Can we do it tomorrow? And they're like, no. Whatever. It took me to Starbucks, and I kid you not, like, so maybe
Oh my
that's why I don't
God.
like Starbucks. It took me to Starbucks and said, order whatever you want. And I was like, I'll do
Uh,
coffee, like whatever. And yeah, by the end of the conversation, he told me this was dissolving and I don't have a job.
oh
And,
my goodness.
they gave me a little severance thing, but it was just like, whoa.
Exactly. Oh man.
So you're never prepared for conversations like that. And I think
Yeah.
that's what I love about, workshops and things like that. It teaches financial literacy. It teaches
Mhm.
us how to save, how to budget, how
Mhm.
to cancel subscriptions of things we no longer use, but we keep paying it monthly. Like it's only $12, but that adds up.
That adds up.
It's like, yeah, I'm passionate about financial literacy.
Yes.
Like I really am.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
yeah, very excited about that. All right. So a few years ago,
Mhm.
you started an organization, or you co-founded an organization. So talking about Moad, of course. So
Yeah.
let's talk about Moad. What is Moad? Does it mean? And when did it start? And how did the idea come about? And why did you see the need?
Yeah. So like there was I think about 10 or more folks from the community here, not only in Worcester but also parts of Massachusetts. And the African community is a growing community, just like the Caribbean and so communities. And we realized that even that topic again about representation from politics or even business, right? Even the hurdles that our people face, or knowing or not knowing, when even when opportunities are present at City Hall and it's not given towards the funds are not given towards communities that the funds are designed for, and so we all came together and said like we should do something about that, and so that was like in 2019, and then the pandemic hit in 2020, and we're able to kind of mold Moad, and we in that period also, we saw that a lot of the folks who are in African communities, like they work they work in like home health services, and so there were some nurses or some LPNs that weren't getting the needed like protective gear at the time. So it was all like the news, and so we wanted to do something about it. So we all came together, like even a gentleman from African British Network. We formed ourselves, and we had some donations from Boston at the time, because Worcester wasn't giving out those things then, and we give out those protective tools and gears to the folks who are working in those like nursing homes and stuff like that, and until things became of a reality for Worcester. But yeah, we formed ourselves, and at the time it was just doing reacting to the pandemic, making sure that folks have food, making sure that folks were getting vaccinated, because for our people, man, we question a lot of things, and actually we should question a lot of things. So we did a lot of vaccine education, bringing experts from the community, working with DPH, working with UMass, to do a lot of those projects in the community, and vaccinating over like 10,000 folks in the African community, even utilizing some of the African nurses. And so that's kind of our reactionary. But we were created to be of service to our community. So like provide education on business, provide education on to maintain our cultural heritage, to be able to even like politics, so help folks who are from our from the Black and Brown community, the African community, know and run for office. Because several of us in 2019 actually ran, because the first time I ran for school committee. It was very narrow. I've always been like, so the first time I ran, I was like just right there. The first time I ran, no experience, nothing. And then another fellow ran for council, he lost also. So to have that political cohesion amongst ourselves. And so there were folks from Liberia, Ghana, just like different African nationalities that are over 17 folks, from those different nationalities. And over the years, we've been able to do not only just educational components, so we do ongoing workshops in different areas of topic, even with the recent climate, utilizing lawyers to do, know your rights, going to the various churches, with speaking with the pastors to share information about LUCE and how to protect ourselves here for folks who are undocumented or whatever your status is. We do the Worcester African Festival. That's one of our big signature events here in the city. We do the New England African Business Expo every year. That's also in May. During political time seasons, we do a forum also. But this year, though, I think our focus is kind of bridging the gap between folks from the African diaspora and then folks from the Black American community, even for the Haitian community, different populations that make up the African diaspora. And we kind of started some of those partnership last year with the Haitian community, and we want to be able to do more with that, find nuances and ways that we can all work together. And just being that kind of solidarity and checking on our community members, making sure folks are okay, and because they won't tell you until you actually make that call, so just coming down to the baseline, and then we'll have our festival in the summer. Given we have we get things together with the city, because that's another conversation with them. Issues that we've had, working with the city of Worcester, Parks Department. So we're hoping that we're able to do all the things that we're doing and be able to run our festival and other events here as well. Yeah.
All right, awesome. So I know that you guys have the business summit, which you say in May. Do you guys have the date yet?
So we do. It's always the first Saturday.
Saturday in May.
Yeah, but this year though, I think we're gonna do like a sequel. We're still kind of planning on we're planning on what we want to do for it, because usually it's educational. It's we bring in folks who are experts with different kind of business backgrounds, and we give even last year we give scholarships to we give grants to folks who are entrepreneurs. They have a pitch for their project, and we worked with one of the departments at WPI to even prepare students or participants and all of that. So, but this year I think we're going to because we lost a lot of finances in the previous year because of all the things that happened last year with regards to donors. So we want to just focus our energy and time on our individual people, and then focus on the festival. But we are going to be doing something to highlight, to support our businesses. Because one of the things that the businesses tell us that we do the festival and it's a one-day thing, but can we do something that is more focused on the businesses themselves? And our expo is meant to do a little bit of that, but more of the expo's concept is to give people the education, give people the resources. Like, for example, the state's diversity certification, right? Making sure that our people know to do the process for that, so that you can put yourself into a niche to have other contractual, statewide contractual opportunities. And overall, I think it's just really great to just have, right? So continuing to push those kind of education and those. So our expo is really it's focused on not so much on the folks who are in the business. Our festival does that, where that folks have their business, they're able to at least earn some money from the public by purchasing, and so hopefully whatever we do in May will kind of gear towards that. And the end of May is also the African Week. So we're trying to figure out how to best position it, and then going forward, once we're able to improve some of our finances, then we're going to bring back the actual expo in the ways that we've been organizing it.
Okay, but we are having the African Festival in August. I think it's always the first Saturday,
the first
right?
Saturday in August.
Okay, all right, and we do it at Worcester Common.
Yeah.
Okay. All
right. Yeah, and we're praying, man. We're praying that again, the city of Worcester, that that they that there's no issues, because so this will be our 4th year, and for the last 3 years, there's been some kind of rah-rah with folks that are working in the parks department and holding our festival is like in the city, on the city's property and overly, what is it, pricing certain things because you have to when we first started, it was about the trash, right? We got blamed for trashing the city's property because they didn't want us to have our event there. It was not trashing. Everything was cleaned, but we decided not to. The first year, actually, the city cleaned, and then there's issues about something, and it was just very distasteful, and it felt like they didn't want us to have our events anymore in the city. There was no issues. We partner with, we have volunteers that are on site, and people have a great time. And you think that the city is supposed to be able to do more of that, encourage people to do more of these things, downtown. The fact that we don't have a lot of things going on in the city. And then the second year, it was a whole nother issue because we decided not to go with the city services for our trash collection. And then they told us that, well, we trashed the city. And I'm like, I was there until like 9 p.m. making sure everything was clean. Everything was cleaned. I have pictures. And so because 2025, there was an article that was published during the I think it was like September or so. It was so fascinating because this reporter from the TNG that published it, very distasteful also because I was a candidate for council and he published something about organizations that are owing the city money. And so MOA was one of the organizations, I think, and there's other organizations that he noted in there. But it was so distasteful because it's like we owe the city funds. We don't owe the city funds. The city has had a very not a good working relationship with us. Overpricing things, saying that workers are there when they're not there. Because if they're there, you come to the organizer and you introduce yourself. When we need help, we don't see people from the city at our events. But then you're telling me in an email that you have 5 workers. Where were they when we needed the help? So there's a lot of issues that I think that, and hopefully that they're able to work with it, work on it, to be able to help other organizations continue to hold events downtown. There's so many issues that I don't some of them I'm explaining now, but like it's just very distasteful. It's just very dishonest. Almost using strategies to push people away. And I think that's not it shouldn't be warranted at all. Yeah.
Okay. So is there any person or who oversees that department where you guys could have conversation, have a meeting where, potentially like other vendors that does events at City Hall to maybe, connect with, and this probably could already be happening or things like that. But I would chat with other vendors who have events at City Hall or the Worcester Common, I should say, and see if they're having the same challenges and find out, truly what it is. They are. Okay. So then let's demand a meeting. Again, that might already be happening, but, it shouldn't be that hard to have something that everyone gets to show up and enjoy because it's open for everyone.
Exactly.
Yes, it's put on by Moan, but it's, by everyone and all the other organizations that put something on at the Oval. Hopefully that, the process is not as difficult because we can't have the Common where we lose all the things.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, I don't want to go to Boston for everything.
For everything. Exactly. Yeah. And just encourage.
Okay.
Encourage organizations, encourage small organizations, encourage big organizations to do things in our city, so that people don't have a lot of people, like a lot of young people live here in Worcester. I wouldn't even think a lot of people that I went to school with, they're still in Worcester. And you wouldn't know that until you knock doors. When you knock doors, you see people at home, and I'm like, how are you still? We went to school together. You're still here. Yeah. What do you do for fun?
Yeah.
They don't be in Worcester. They don't stay in Worcester.
Yeah.
So we need to really tap into that. We need to, encourage people to do events here, various events here in Worcester, downtown, so that we can have foot traffic downtown.
Absolutely. I mean, we want to be a walkable city.
Yeah.
Like, it's like I went to New Orleans, and Bourbon Street obviously is Bourbon Street, but I just love the fact that it was like a walk-in. I mean, my eyes were like popping out of my head, but it was nice because you walk and there was restaurants and there was bars and there was music. It was all these things. I mean, obviously Worcester is not going to be like that, but I think that's the goal, right? For it to be a walk-in city where you can park your car and just walk and you walk the common, there's an event happening, and just do all the things.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know who's in the Parks Department, but let's
I
hope
know who it
that
is. I don't want to mention his name.
no,
But I know who it is, and we be going back and forth in the emails. But yeah.
Okay, let's hope that we
Mhm.
can honestly find a solution to ensure that events like this that are important for the culture, and I think also important for the community, is happening in the community. And
Exactly.
certainly let's figure out how we can remove these barriers to access to ensure that everyone is represented and everyone gets to do the thing and people get to show up and learn about a culture.
Exactly.
It's as
Yeah.
simple as that. So looking forward to it.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
I know you all have a fashion show there.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yes. I love like organizing and planning the festival because one of the components is the fashion show.
Yes.
And so this year and even last year we partnered with I'm now forgetting the folks' name, but they are, and I should know him very well because yeah, he does so much great work. But their organization work with young people, and they teach them how to sew, and they sewed pieces that were really
Yeah.
nice pieces.
Yeah.
And so like those, and then they even had some of their peer who modeled their pieces
Yeah.
in the fashion show, and then we had other people who are other wonderful designers.
Yeah.
And it was just great to see the number of people that modeled those pieces. I think it was a really great. It was great. And then we had like the piece where we invite folks that are crowned. And so we had a crowned queen from Rhode Island. We had a young girl who also Worcester based. Is she Worcester based? I think so. Who also won a crown. I forgot the full name of the crown. But again, right, just to see that kind of that those activities with the and see different age groups doing fantastic things like that. Yeah, it's wonderful. And then of course the dancing, the food.
I love it all. I love it all. I do. And I actually really love seeing the designers, like, because you're seeing a fashion show, right? And oftentimes you go to fashion shows, like, everybody's like, famous names and all of that. But, like, these are local designers. And can you imagine, like, seeing a designer and then one day, like, this person is there and you're like, oh my God.
Right.
Because every famous designer, right? Well, I should know they had a moment when
They did, yeah.
It was in the community, and then all of a sudden, then like, oh, we're calling out these names, right?
Exactly.
So absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it, and I truly wish you the best. I hope that things work out, and we're able to have the summit and the event at City Hall. I keep saying City Hall, but I mean the Common. I mean Worcester Common. Worcester Common. Y'all know
and
what I'm
Franklin
talking
Street.
about.
Yeah.
Yes, right out there. Yes.
Is it August 1st? Because this year August 1st is the first Saturday.
Oh wow!
In
August is on a Saturday. It's girl, I don't even know. Like I can't even. I have already so many things on my calendar. Like,
yeah.
I tell folks, just send it to me. Just send it to me. Let me put it in my calendar.
If it's not there,
I'm gonna. Yeah, because there's a couple of things that I'm gonna be like, okay, all right, that's fine. All right, so we've had an opportunity. We talked about your political career. We talked about you being a realtor. We talked about you being the president of MOHAD. So let's talk about Jermoh, because what are some of the things that you do to unwind?
Man, I like to read also.
Okay.
I like to read, and so that brings me joy. I like my favorite series on Netflix, and I'm really glad that.
Is it Bridgerton?
I have been on Netflix like every day. I know because tomorrow is the season. Yes. Every day I'm on Netflix like looking, like I'm just like looking, clicking. And I also love crime shows, and so there've been quite a few newer versions of them on Netflix too.
Isn't Her?
Yeah.
Did you watch his and Her?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Whoa.
Why didn't it continue?
Whoa. All right. So don't give out any spoilers because literally, like,
oh my.
jaw on the floor, had no idea. And I hadn't read the book. And normally I read a book. But this time I was like, I don't know why I didn't read the book. And I was like, I love Tessa Thompson. So, but what happens is, it's like, and I explained this to my daughter last night. So it's not a show per se. So it's a book, but so, you know, they can't give you a 8-hour movie, right? Or a 6-hour movie, because nobody's going to watch that. So what they do is, like, they take the book, and because it's a lot to tell, they like break it up in these parts, right? And they're like 6 parts, and they're like 50 minutes or 40 something minutes per episode. And we watch it. Because if they had said, here's an 8-hour movie, you would not watch it.
Right.
I would not. But now it's this limited series. So there's not going to, most of them, like, there will not be a part 2. Believe me, From Scratch. Remember From Scratch?
I don't think I've had.
Oh, From Scratch.
Okay.
Romance, Italy, Zoe Saldana.
Okay.
Like, had me balling. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
And so it's show like this. Like, there's not going to be another one. But it's a book. Yeah, so they make it into these limited series. And it's like 6 episodes on the edge of your seat. Like, you binge it because
I was up 2 a.m.
Yeah.
my eyes are burning.
Yeah, but you couldn't stop.
I'm not gonna turn off this computer. I want to watch it until I know what's going, like, at the end.
Yeah, and even like it blew my mind. Even when I thought I knew, because I was like, why didn't they end this? What's gonna happen? That's how I was like, what's happening? And I just love how what I suspected wasn't what I, like, it was just like beautifully, like, his and hers. If you haven't watched it on Netflix, Tessa Thompson, chef's kiss, just absolutely beautiful show. So yes. And there was another one that I just saw. I think it was Harlan. I can't remember his last name. He's an author, and it was just like, they have a lot of his I found on Netflix. It's called Runaway. I think like his daughter was kidnapped or something like that.
Right
yeah,
now.
It's like a 6-part, and I'm like, I'm saving it. So if there's a snowstorm this weekend, I mean, I got to do something.
Oh my God!
Like, I got to do something. Like, yeah. Well, I hope not. Saturday is a huge day. Like, so Saturday has so many things on the calendar.
Yeah.
We have the Black History Month flag raising at the YWCA. We have at 10 o'clock. We have the Maywalk event at Holy Cross at 12:30. Then we have the I Declare art exhibit open at the Worcester Craft Center at 4 o'clock. Okay. Those are the 3 things. And I think there were some other things, but like those are literally the only things I could fit in, like, because it's like from 10 that goes all the way till 6. So
after a couple?
After a couple. And then I have a baby shower. Like, so
that's nice. Like, that's nice.
Is it? It really is. It's some, it's a young man that I've known for a very long time. I've known his mom. We went to high school together. And, just such a respectful and nice young man. And it's like scary to believe how old he is, because that if I add his years to mine, like, that math is not mathing right. So but he's up there. I was like, what happened? So there we are. But Saturday's gonna be big. But I'm looking forward to the weekend. But no, I will send you From Scratch. Because that was such a good show.
Is this what it's like? So it's not a series?
It is.
Is that okay? That's not bad.
It is a limit. But again, that's what they do. They take these books, and instead of like the books are, because you're reading the book, right? And instead of giving you an 8-hour movie, they break it down. They call it a limited series. It just means that's it.
Yeah.
The 6 episode is a 6 episode. Doesn't, like, 10 years later, it's still not gonna get. But it's absolutely worth it though, because I'm glad they didn't do it in an hour and a half, because it's like there's so much in it.
Yeah.
And you get to. I like to dig in. I like to get the history and all of that thing. It's when you're reading the book, right? And they describe the scenery and they set the scene. Like, you're reading a book about Paris and you literally feel like you're there. I think this is what the limited series does, right? It sets the scene. Like, you feel like you're there. Like, I was there in Delunga with these people. So, all right, we went off on a tangent. Like, or I went off on a tangent because I truly loved the movie. But you like to read?
Yeah.
What kind of books?
Yeah. So I love to, like, any kind of self-help. even like political series as well. I have a couple that I have to actually open, but
Yeah.
right now I forgot the title, but I'm reading a book about that helps with communicating in real estate.
Mm.
And then I'm reading other things
Mm.
with that. This is more like law
Mhm.
component of that, but
Mhm.
yeah. And I like to work out too. I like to
Mm.
work out. I did have a gym membership last year that I got to give up because the walking was my gym. But I did buy some home pieces
Yeah.
that I have to put together, and my goal is to at least be
Mm.
doing something at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and I love people. I like to be with good, kind people, and just
Mhm.
at home or in a space,
Mm.
doing like charitable games and
Mhm.
just
All
having
right.
that time.
Mm.
Yeah, so yeah.
All right, wonderful. Well, we're going to wrap up, but two last things. So I saw that you just had a big birthday blowout. Yes,
Yeah.
celebration. What was that like?
It was great. It was so great. Because over the years, I mean, there's just a lot of, running for office, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of other things that were roadblocks, right? And I
Mm.
just had this moment, and I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say my age because I I stopped counting. But yeah, but
You
it was
look
just to
bigger.
celebrate life and to celebrate business,
Yeah.
and to celebrate people, all the people that have
Mm.
been on this journey with me for years, and just to tell
Mm.
them thank you.
Mm.
And then we had, games and
Yeah.
dances, people dance, and good
Yeah.
food, and then the restaurant that
Yeah.
I held the event, Mexi Town. I was on Water Street, and I stumbled upon the restaurant, and I
Really?
walked in, and it's beautiful. They've
Yeah, it
done
looked huge.
yeah, so much
Yeah.
investment. I mean, the
Really?
owner is just she's just wonderful. She was supposed to work with me,
Oh.
and even the chef. Yeah, so if you're on Water Street, you want to check out that place. Is a you think that you're in a different, like, some other country,
Really?
tropical country.
Yeah.
She has done a lot of great work in this space.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so really great people to work with,
Mm.
and yeah, so I actually wanted to do it at first in Midtown Mall, that they have a wine store
Mhm.
there, because I wanted to just bring, let folks know like what is other things that
Yeah.
are in Worcester, right? But I still will be having something else though at that wine store in the
Mhm.
Midtown Mall, because sometimes when you walk there, there's not a lot of foot traffic in the
Yeah.
mall, but there's so many nice
Things
shops
in there are,
in that Midtown Mall, and I
and you
think,
forget it.
and you forget it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I love to do, is just to bring light to like the wonderful things that are here in Worcester, that folks may not know about. Yeah, you have not visited, but yeah.
All right, cool. Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
And final question, favorite vacation spot that you've ever been to or are you looking forward to go?
Man, so I would say I was not there for a vacation, but India is a really wonderful country. I was there for study abroad,
Mm.
and I want to go back there.
Mm.
And this year, though, I'm planning on going to Senegal.
Mm.
There's a lot of cultural history there, that I would just love to be in that space, and to just have something that is different. I didn't
Mm.
travel last year, so
Mm.
I'm hoping that this
This
2025, I
this is your
this is the
year.
year.
This is the year to
Yeah,
travel. Okay.
yeah. So
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you for sharing,
thank you for
all
having me.
that you do. And, we're out here looking at you, supporting you and cheering for you. So whether you decide to make a run for politics again in the coming years, at the very least, I hope you continue to educate and hold forum and really talk about, even
Yeah.
if you are not doing it yourself, why it's important that representation is in politics. And, congrats on being a realtor.
Thank you.
And good luck on those classes. Make sure folks are following her to find out when
Yeah.
you're having those educational workshop, and look out for Moab. They're having their business summit, the
Mhm.
African festival, and more things that are going to be happening along the way. And then if you see Jermoh out and about in the community, say hello.
Say hello. Yeah.
All right.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I love doing this show, and I love an opportunity to get to
Yeah.
talk to, just so many wonderful folks in the community just to see what they're doing. So thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
All right, awesome. So if you're tuned in, you're watching Sipping Tea with Suzanne with your
Yeah.
host, Positively Suzanne. Shout out to our viewers and subscribers, our executive producer, Paul Anderson. And always, this is Suzanne and
Jermoh Kamara.